Hi everyone, how are you all? I hope you are all okay. So guys, on the 4th of April we have well, you can say the great, or you can say the upcoming Mars-Saturn conjunction, which is happening in Aquarius at 22 degrees. This will definitely affect people who are Aquarius, Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio. This is going to really affect you. The last one that we had was on March the 31st, 2020. And obviously we all know what went down there. You know, we went into lockdown. You know, the whole world actually changed. And it was a shock to the system, a shock to our bodies, a shock to our soul, a shock, just a general shock. The world actually changed. And, you know, some people were very open when this change happened, but some people are not. And it's no fault of anyone's own, because even like astrologers or tarot readers, well, some people actually did predict this, but not everyone knew that things would be like that, or be like this, how it is now. So when Mars and Saturn, you know, they come together, especially in Aquarius, this is a time of structures, responsibilities, you know, hard work, lessons to be learned, with the fiery aggression of, you know, the Mars is ruled by Aries. So when it comes into Aquarius, that drive and energy is going to rev all those things up. It also does put groups, organizations, humanitarianisms, people coming together in strong focus as well. You know, 2 years ago, because this actually lasts for 2 years. And, you know, 2 years ago, if the emphasis felt more on, you know, survival, like, you know, like survival of the fittest, but it was like survival in our finances, survival in, you know, our home, our work life, and, you know, just trying to live, trying to understand what the hell is going on, and also trying to, you know, yeah, it was just like, it felt very much like a stuckness, but it was also, you know, survival as well. And, you know, a lot of things went down, as we know. We had, you know, the Black Lives Matter, George Floyd's murder. You know, I feel that even social media, it became more, because obviously, because we were all at home a lot more, social media, it blew up more. Things were actually coming out more to the surface, because Saturn just entered only for a short bit. It just entered Aquarius for a short bit. And yeah, it was, you know, and it's gone so fast. It's really gone so fast. But on the outside, it appeared that things were going to be more civil, more, you know, like nice communication, and, you know, getting our, you know, trying to get our lives in order, sorting ourselves out. It felt quite peaceful, but on the outside, it actually wasn't like that, because we also have to remember the sun was in Aries, and Aries is about new action. On the other hand, a lot of us, like especially 2 years ago when we went into lockdown, a lot of us actually looked at like our daily habits in a way of changing. So whether it was physical or mental, people started to like bake more, helping people more. The emphasis was on getting to know your neighbors, getting to know your neighborhood, getting to know yourself as well, also taking care of yourself. So we saw people starting to like jog, starting to work out, whether it's for the first time, starting to like tidy up their surroundings, reading more, studying, doing, you know, something that you've always loved to do, i.e. like something creative. If it was writing, you know, going online, learning a new skill. But it did also make the mind come into focus as well, i.e., you know, because, you know, 2 years ago it did feel very creative, but also there was an element of illusion and delusion, i.e., because some people, you know, some of us had really good intentions of what we wanted to do, and it didn't really manifest because of the whole situation. And we had to really get really in touch with ourselves, our true selves, and be honest with ourselves. You know, 2 years ago, since the lockdown, there was a lot of like mental health, depression. Yes, we're overeating, over drinking, on, you know, on one hand, but on the other hand, some of us are actually like, no, I'm actually going to really take care of myself now. Now is that time. So there was a mix and match. But the one good thing that came out of it was that some of us actually learned something. Another emphasis like 2 years ago was also on, you know, finances as well, of course, because we had to learn a lot more about our partner. But some of us even had to learn more about when it came to where your money's actually going, really sorting out your finances, any debts, loans, and, you know, inheritances. Obviously, there was a lot of, you know, leaving this earth as well. And yes, but they, you know, because we did see, and I think it might have been because of the conjunction of Saturn and Pluto in Aquarius and in Capricorn, that might have played a big part, because we did see a lot of greed. You know, if you're going to the shop and you're used to, like for me, for instance, I got glasses, and I've always gone to this shop to get my glasses, but they charge more. So there was a lot of greed. Okay. So people got very desperate. People got greedy, got more desperate, more manipulative. But it was also very fiery. It was also extremely fiery time. But yes, in terms of like our relationships, we got to know our partners more. Some relationships flourished, some relationships didn't. Some relationships was like more or less into the middle, but you learned a lot. Some of you may have learned that you're actually better by yourself, or some people believe or even thought that it was actually better being with my partner and actually committing. It was such a big learning curve during this time. Now, obviously, you know, this happens every 2 years. You know, that as you guys can see, the tarot card for this is the Tower, because it's ruled by Mars, and also the World card. So these two cards are showing us there's going to be lots of, you know, there can be, you know, clashes of the titans, but also sudden shocks, sudden endings, sudden destruction, sudden upheavals that's going to be coming. And, you know, I feel that a lot of us are going to be shocking ourselves in what we are going to, what in fact, what is going to be happening. With this one that's happening now, and also, you know, with the World card, it's like an end of a journey. So there are going to be some endings that come, but there's also going to be lessons that we're going to be learning. Some of these lessons can be actually harsh. Some of the, because these two are actually Capricorn and Aries cards, and they are cardinal. So they are basically, they are actually showing us that there is a new beginning that's happening, because there's only like 4 cardinal signs. Obviously Leo, I feel, is, you know, quite up there, you know, but in terms of like the energies, the cardinal signs are Capricorn, Aries, Cancer, and Libra. So the fact that these 2 signs are coming together, not having much in common, but they're coming together, they are going to be creating a change. You know, we had a lot of this new world order change as well 2 years ago, and this is going to be coming. So with this one, it's more the emphasis, because this one feels very much more Aquarian. So definitely that the emphasis is going to be more on the self, the body. Okay, it can feel, especially with these 2 cards, it feels like there's going to be more of starting and finishing very quickly. It feels, this one at this time, it actually feels very much like very ambitious, very energetic, more confidence as well. It's not a time of, you know, making anything, you know, just pass us by. It's about, there's something you want to say, there's something you want to do, let's just put it out there. There's going to be more of an emphasis on aligning with people, because, you know, like even I was looking on the internet, which Aquarius rules actually. I'm just gonna have some what's this I'm eating? I'm actually eating kiwi. But there's more of an emphasis. Like 30 years ago, I was actually reading about like the poll tax riot. So basically 30 years ago when Margaret Thatcher was in power, she was introduced at the poll tax riot. I mean, she introduced like the poll tax, which was about, you know, in this country we pay taxes basically on our house or flats. And this was like more or less introduced like in 1990 or 1989 when Saturn was in Aquarius. Saturn was in Capricorn actually. It didn't go down with people. It also does depend, it's quite complicated, it does depend on how big your house is as well. So people who are single, they paid, and obviously it wasn't very beneficial to them because they were actually losing money. And people that had a bigger house and had a bigger family, they had to sort of pay more. So there was basically craziness on the streets. So 30 years later, we're seeing, you know, it's not as bad like austerity, but it is that feeling of having less. We are also feeling. So I feel people are going to be more vocal, and people are actually coming more together on social media. Yeah, people are vocalizing. So I feel there's going to be more of that, more vocalizing how you feel. I feel there's going to be more groups and organizations coming together to talk about shared mind thoughts, should I say. But yeah, there can be obviously some frustration, like emotional frustration, like things are not moving as quickly. Things are, things are not moving very quickly. You know, like there's the energy of, you feel that you know where you want to go, but things, you have to sort of like, it's not cut corners, but you have to like put like a lot of work in. Whereas you know that if you just do this now, it can actually get done. Okay, so it's going to be it can feel actually quite restricting at this time, but it can also feel quite revitalizing, because like I said, the energy is very much Aquarian. Before it was a mixed bag, but this one's very, very much Aquarian. But also this is also showing during this one that there's a lot of work that needs to be put in terms of like responsibilities, in terms of how in terms of how you want to make your mark into this world. Saturn is very conservative. It's very, traditional. It's very, serious, especially when it wants to reach a goal. So there's that element can come to it. When we've got Mars there, it's going to be taking that element and just pushing things forward. So yes, it feels very much a clash of the Titans. Very much a clash of the Titans. Very much a clash of wills, battle of wills. Very much a clash of knowing where you want to go, but then you still have to put a lot of work in. But it is also a time that, it's not a time of standing back and letting like people run over you, especially when you're at work. You have someone like a boss who is very condescending, very like the shadow side of Saturn. Basically, it's not going to be happening like that anymore. You're gonna feel a bit more confident to actually say what you need to say. So things can actually feel quite slow burn, but they actually, when it does turn, it really turns. And if we using this energy, it actually can be extremely beneficial in terms of if you want to learn anything, if you want to build anything, if you want to like physically as well, do something for your body, do something for your mind, or just doing something completely different. This can actually give this, because obviously the sun was in Aries before, but the sun is still in Aries 2 years later. And we're also, let's not forget, we're also actually dealing with the Emperor card, which is to do with authority, whether it's with yourself, but also your bosses. It's also number 4 on the 4th day, which is about foundation. It's about, how we're building whatever you're working on, whatever you're building, it will be for the long run. So whatever is going to be starting, whatever is going to be pushed, whatever is going to be, you know, anything, even if it's fiery, even what you say, even your actions, your words, anything that is started on the 4th, it would last for the next 2 years. And God knows what the next 2 years one will be. I'll have to look at that. But yes, so it's, you guys can like look back and see, you know, because it's going to definitely, this is definitely going to affect the fixed signs. So even look at your house chart where Aquarius is, because this is going to be highlighting this. You can also look where Mars is as well, where it is in your house chart, and see how those actually play out. Because with the fixed signs, they're going to be really sort of like navigating their way. With Taurus, it's like going to be with their career. You know, there's going to be like this huge push to like really structure your career, but also do something very different. Just mash up the thing and you know, just, you know, if you find that you're being very restrictive in any way, or you've just noticed, some of you just actually noticed now that things are just not really working out, you're just going to be doing something completely different. You've got the nodes in your sign, so this is going to be showing you where you actually need to really be. For Aquarius, obviously it's in the 1st house, so there's going to be a huge change that's going to be coming physically, mentally, emotionally. Some of you have to be very mindful, because there could be things that are called out about you. You know, just because this is in your sign doesn't mean you could take the mick in any way. So I do feel that there can be, because Saturn, Mars rules conflicts. So just be mindful of conflicts. Also be mindful of what you say. For Scorpio, this is in your 4th house. So there could be, you know, a battle of wills when it comes to like your property, your, you know, something to do within your past. This also could be concerning like your parents, but also this is about structuring, you know, if you are building something for, you know, your future or for your family, it's about restructuring it and knowing when to take action. And also, what's the last one? How can you forget Leo? Leo. You know, you're going to be feeling this as well, because this is in your 7th house. So then this may be a time where a lot of you may commit more to a relationship. And, you know, some of you may be feeling extremely confident and, you know, proposing marriage or proposing that you want something for the long term. Or some of you may decide you want to be free. And there could be a break that could happen. You know, some of you may decide you want to go your own way. And, you know, because this is about happiness as well. This is also concerning business, contract, anything to do with that, the law as well. Things can actually now sort of like play in your corner. For the cardinal, like Libra, not cardinal, so we've done the fix. How can I forget? Jesus Christ. The mutable. Yes, let's do the cardinal. Sorry, let's do the cardinal signs. So for you, Libra, this is in your 5th house. Okay, and this is actually really great, because there's going to be, if some of you have actually felt quite bored, or things of, you know, your fun has not been, you haven't had as much fun as you wanted to, because there was responsibilities attained to your children, or, you know, you felt like there was very much restricted in any way when things are concerning kids, or, you know, like even like your fitness regime or your creativity. Now you can start to get this sort of like new oomph and push and drive to actually do something very creative now. The Saturn energy will show you where you need to work, but the Mars energy will show you where to, you know, really push that drive. So I feel some of you actually might have a really fun time. Capricorns, this is going to be in your 2nd house. So obviously this is about your money. This is about your, you know, so there's going to be some restructuring going on, but also there's going to be this energy and drive to save, spend, invest as well. Some of you may be doing this very differently now. This is about showing you about an open-mindedness when it comes to money and how you value money, and also your creativity. Cancer, this is in your 8th house. So again, there's going to be some restructuring when it comes to your, you know, your joint finances. Some of you may actually come into money. Some of you may actually decide that, you know, there's certain things that need to be really fixed now. So there could be some aggression going along, because this is traditionally a Mars house, but it's going to be giving you guys confidence in, you know, working on any trauma, any deep-rooted issues that's hindering you in any way. And this could be with a relationship, but it also could be with someone, and also definitely do some occult work. Some of you actually may be driven to do some occult work as well. Then we have my mind just went blank. So then we're going to be talking to, there's one cardinal sign that's actually missing. There's one actual cardinal sign that's missing. So I said Libra, Capricorn, Cancer, and it will come to me. Yes, it will come to me. So then we have the mutable. Okay. So for Geminis, this is in your 9th house. So there's going to be a new time. Some of you might decide to get very serious and really study, relearn, do something higher, you know, obviously higher learning. This is an energy of being far away. You know, you may want to be around different types of people who can teach you a new type of learning. Obviously, this is to do with like the law, publishing as well. So the Mars energy will give a lot of you drive to really, again, think outside the box, but also get serious in something that you want for the long term, something very tangible. So some of you, if you're very shy, you do not want certain things to be out there. So I feel like even a lot of you Geminis are going to be you're going to really benefit from this. You know, you're going to see that your views are changing, and, you know, you're seeing the world very differently now. And this can actually give you a lot of inspiration, especially if you want to be surrounding yourself with certain different types of people too. For Virgos, this is in your actual house, your 6th house. So this is about you like clearing up, but also setting boundaries, setting intentions, but also setting a time that, you know, working on your daily routines, your responsibilities, but also giving you that drive and energy towards really fixing things that need to be fixed. I feel a lot of you actually are going to be feeling more into yourself now, and there are going to be lots of physical changes that's going to really come with this, and it's definitely for the long haul. And some of you Virgos have been in 2 minds about where you want to go or what you actually want to do. You can now see this conjunction is actually going to now show you for the next 2 years, actually, this is what needs to be done. This is what needs to be corrected. This is how I want to work out. This is how I actually really want to eat, because there can be something that comes up, like you're looking at I feel that you're looking at what you're eating, your physical exercise very differently now. And also your daily routines and how you're working and who you're working with. Pisces, this is in your 12th house. So with the 12th house, it's your house. So you and Virgos are going to be really feeling it because it's your house. Yes, there can be some drama that can be going on from behind the scenes, like in terms of hidden enemies. People, they can actually be coming out of the woodworks now. But you're going to be doing your releasing work. Okay, you're going to be structuring. So that's like structuring a spiritual workout, spiritual routine, but also actually doing the work instead of just dreaming about doing the work. And things actually can start to move very quickly, although vitality-wise and energy-wise, it's still, things are going to be a bit more dreamy and a bit more slow. It's the time that you're going to be looking at your dreams, because there could be some messages that come up. Some of them can be quite violent, but some of them could actually be just guides. And, you know, you got this conjunction that's going to be, it's in your 12th house for the next 20 years. So I feel you Pisces, and maybe Virgo, but I feel definitely you Pisces are going to be you're going to be benefiting more because this is your house. This is a house of endings. This is a house of letting go. You're doing the work for the next 20 years as well. This is also great for you to be initiating action behind the scenes for creativity too. And, you know, resting when you can and listening to your dreams. And last but not least, we have not Gemini, we have Sagittarius. This is in your third house of the mind, communication, your thought process. So this is going to be changing things. And some of you Sagittarius may be a bit more mouthy because you're starting to see certain injustices. This injustice could be within your neighborhood. Some of you may be coming to the defense of certain people and really reading that rule book. Some of you Sagittarians can be quite judgy, but it's, because you see the truth. So you guys will be speaking your truth a lot more, and you'll be backing. You have that backup as well. So if someone says, oh, you're saying this, but can I see evidence? You'll have the evidence. I do feel for some of you Sagittarians as well that some of you may even change a job, having that drive to change a job, or working in the media more. Some of you, don't be surprised you see more Sagittarians working in the media, putting certain real truths out there, not lies, and just restructuring things. Okay, so that's a little overhaul that I see for the next 2 years for all the signs. And, with this energy, like I said, it's not going to be easy for everyone. It's going to be easy for some, but not easy for everyone, because there's going to be a multitude and lots of energy and aggression and anger that can really come up now. But with Saturn being there, it can control things to a point, but also, with these two energies working together, it's like not controlling it too much, but not also letting the aggression come out too much. It's a time of balance. It's a time of knowing when to say what you need to say, knowing when to fight, but also knowing when to control yourself. And, I said that there's going to be some frustrations because some of us can actually feel very restrictive. We're going to be seeing that there's certain laws that can be put into place that a lot of us are not going to really agree with. And it's not about, going to that sort of aggression way. It's about, okay, who can I align myself with? So we have the shared ideals, so that we can sort of change things as well. So yeah, it's actually great if people really come together and they have big discussions and, wanting to change the world into really much a positive place and a positive state as well. So, again, we're working with these cards, the tarot, working with the Tower card, and we're also working with the World card as well. They're going to be speaking to us a lot more for the next 2 years. Feel free, guys, to come back to this message, especially for the tarot cards as well, of course. But yeah, they have loads of messages for us, and just know that anything that does crumble is because something new is going to be building, and anything that does end is because we've come to the end of our journey. We are actually starting a new journey, and sometimes when we do start a new journey, it's not even uncomfortable. It's that time. And if anything does leave our lives, if anything, there is a great massive destruction, something needs to be rebuilt, because we are crumbling of the old world and we are going into the new world. And going into a new world is not for everyone. We are very comfortable within the old world, the old way of being. But remember, there's a new generation that's coming up. The new generation is Pluto in Libra, and Pluto in Sagittarius, and it's air, and it's also air and it's fire. These two generations are going to be helping us going into the new world order as well. They're actually easing, because we're coming out of the generation of Pluto in Virgo, and we're coming out of the generation, because the Pluto in Virgo and the Pluto in Sagittarius and Scorpio, they're actually in the forefront of change that they believe is right, but we're moving out of that and we're moving into an air and fire way. So you know, it's not, that's one of the reasons why I say it's not going to be easy for everyone, because if you've got water, you've got a lot of earth, and we're moving into an air and fire time, it's going to be like, where's my place in this? How do I navigate my place into this? But it's all about trying to adapt, because these two energies with these cards, they're just making us, they're just showing us a new way. Some of the ways can be brilliant, but they're showing us a way that is going to be for mankind. Okay, and we all know that Aquarius has a shadow side, you know, with especially with the group and organization. That's all well and good, but also we're also seeing that we have to abide by these rules that I'm setting, and these rules are not always right. These all rules are very like stuck. These rules are very, you can't move, you can't say. But this is actually going to be crumbling, and we're going to see more of this when Pluto goes into Aquarius. That whole way of being is going to crumble, and it's going to be a bit of a shock, but it's also going to be okay. Okay, it's not great, but, you know, let me see how I can fit into this too. So guys, that was a little message of the Mars-Saturn conjunction, which is happening on the 4th of April 2022. Feel free to like, share and subscribe. And also don't forget to, you know, feel free to let me know how is this conjunction that has played out for you 2 years ago, and how you feel that it will play out for you now. So thank you very much, guys, for listening, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.